Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another bomb recipe for you guys. I'm super excited to show you guys. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we continue any further, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this recipe. Okay, let's jump right into it. So first things first, I'm going to season up my salmon. Oh, and as always, guys, I'm going to have everything that I'm using in this video in the description box below. Okay, so I'm starting off by seasoning up my salmon. I'm using obey, onion powder, garlic powder, and some blackened seasoning. And I'm just going to season both sides of the salmon, just like you see me doing here in the video. Now I'm adding on my blackened seasoning, and I'm just going to pat inside the seasoning onto the salmon. I'm not rubbing it on. I'm not mushing it all together. I'm literally just patting down onto my salmon just to pat the seasoning right into it. And again, you're just going to do this for both sides of the salmon. Exactly what I did for this side, you're going to do for the very next side. So both sides of our salmon are seasoned. Now we're going to season up the sides. All that excess season that you see on the cutting board, that's exactly what I'm using to season up my sides. I'm not going to use any extra seasoning. Just going to turn my salmon over and just coat my sides with the excess seasoning. This way, I ain't wasting nothing. Can't waste nothing, y'all. Okay, our salmon is now seasoned. Let's go ahead and quickly season our shrimp. I'm just using obey seasoning, garlic powder, and onion powder for our shrimp today. To be honest, guys, that's my go-to seasoning when it comes to seasoning any seafood. Whether it's shrimp or I'm frying up fish or I'm making my salmon cakes, obey, onion powder, garlic powder, you can never go wrong. I'm telling you. Now that our season is on our shrimp, we're just going to give it a quick mix. I learned a nice tip from cooking with Tammy. If you add just a tad bit of olive oil to whatever you're seasoning, in this case specifically shrimp, it'll just allow for the seasoning to spread a little bit better all over all of the meat. Oh my gosh, look at our beautiful salmon, y'all. Beautiful seasoned salmon, beautiful seasoned shrimp. While we let that seasoning soak in, let's go ahead and make our mashed potatoes. I personally, I'm sorry. I personally like to make my mashed potatoes in chicken broth. I know some people like to boil it in water, but chicken broth just makes it way more flavorful. I have my potatoes already peeled and cut. If you notice, I have them cut really small so this way it can cook a little faster. And I just have just enough chicken broth right over my potatoes. Okay, I'm going to let that come to a boil while I'll go ahead and start up my blackened salmon. I have my skillet here. I know you guys can see the steam coming off the skillet, but it's nice and hot. Okay, so before you place your salmon into your pan, you want to make sure it's very, very hot. Why? Because we're searing it. And when you sear it, you're going to sear it at a hot temperature. So I just placed my salmon in a pot. I'm going to let it sear. I believe that I cooked it for about 2 minutes on each side. If I'm not just mistaken, but just enough just so it can just, like I said, sear. Now I'm flipping over my salmon. Oh my gosh, look at that. If you guys could smell the smells, like, oh my gosh, I'm just in awe right now. It smells amazing, but that's not where we stop. We're gonna now go ahead and baste our salmon. If you see, there's a lot of oil in the pan. I got a little bit of heavy-handed and I put too much olive oil. A capful is just enough because you see we're adding butter now. We're gonna add butter to the pan. We're gonna add some lemon juice. So a capful is just enough oil. Okay, once you flip over your salmon to the second side, you can go ahead and add a tablespoon of butter. I made sure to put some on both sides. This is going to help with the basting of our salmon. I also put in a little bit of fresh thyme. Those flavors cooking in with the salmon. Oh my gosh, it's that's all you can say. It's just it's. There's no adjective to describe it. Instead of using lemon juice, I decided to squeeze a lemon onto my salmon fully around. And don't be afraid, y'all. Just go ahead and squeeze that lemon and actually drop the zest of the lemon in there. Let it cook in a pan with your salmon. All of those flavors are going to infuse and provide for a very amazing flavor profile. I allowed the lemon butter thyme mixture to cook in a pan for about 1 minute before basting my salmon. Now, the basting process is an important process. You want to make sure all those flavors are getting infused in your salmon. You want to be able to taste those flavors when you're eating your salmon. So don't rush this process. Take your time and just actually baste the full salmon, okay? From the back of the salmon all the way to the front. You don't have to worry about the bottom of the salmon, obviously, because it's sitting in that lemon butter thyme mixture, okay? Look at that. Oh my God, these salmons came out amazing, guys. Nice, beautiful, and juicy. I remove my salmon from the pan, and now I'm going to start cooking my shrimp. Again, my pan is nice and hot. Why? Because I'm just going to sear my shrimp. I'm not going to fully cook my shrimp here, because once you take it out the pan, it's going to carry over cooking anyway, and no one likes overcooked shrimp. Okay? If your shrimp is overcooked, you don't know how to make shrimp. Okay? Start all over. And remember, we're going to add the shrimp back into our white wine cream sauce anyway. So if it's not fully cooked then, it's definitely going to fully cook inside the cream sauce. Okay, so that's why I don't want to cook it fully now, because then I'm just going to make my shrimp rubbery. All right, so I'm allowing my shrimp to cook on each side. I believe I cooked it for about 45 seconds to a minute on each side. It depends on the size of your shrimp. I use medium to large shrimp here. I usually like to use jumbo shrimp, but this is what I could find, so this is what I'm using. And as you can see, I'm already starting to pull some of the shrimps out of the pan because I don't want them to overcook. Like I said before, we're going to finish cooking them inside the white wine cream sauce anyway. So once our shrimp is done cooking, we're going to remove it from the pan so we can get started with making our cream sauce. No, I did not forget about our mashed potatoes. Let's actually go ahead and give that a quick check. If you notice, our chicken broth is already almost boiled down and soaked into our potatoes. We're going to allow it to continue cooking until the chicken broth is gone, completely gone. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start our cream white wine sauce. I'm starting off with 5 tablespoons, 5 to 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm using real salted butter for this recipe. We already used olive oil, so you don't need any more oil, which is why I'm saying real butter and not margarine, okay? Real butter always gives a better flavor profile anyway. So again, I'm adding my butter in, and I'm going to add in some diced onions and cook those until they're translucent. Guys, if you don't have a chopper, get yourself a chopper, okay? I bought me a chopper from 10 at $10 from Walmart, and it's actually one of the best things that I could buy, okay? I don't spend time chopping up, or dicing up onions and bell peppers. I put my thing right in a chopper, boom, good enough for my meal. Okay. So I added in my diced onions. I cooked them for about a minute until they were translucent. And then I added in some garlic paste. You can add real garlic in for this part too, but I had garlic paste, so I used garlic paste. At this point, you want to turn down your fire to like a low to medium heat. Why? Because once you add in garlic cooks fast. It burns even faster. So you don't want it to burn. So just turn your fire down a little bit. I'm allowing the onions and garlic to cook for about 1 minute. I just want the garlic to just release all of its flavor before adding in my white wine. Just because those flavor profiles, I want that to show up inside my cream sauce. So I just give it a minute to cook before adding in the white wine. Now I'm adding in my white wine. Again, guys, I tell you this all the time. I don't measure anything I cook with. So I'm sorry I don't have a measurement for you, but just do it as best you can by eye. After your white wine, you're going to add in some heavy cream. Again, I have no measurement for you guys. Do it as best you can by eye. As you can see, I'm going to add some heavy cream, just a little bit more. Then I'm going to add even more because I season and cook based off what I see. So if it looks good to me, that's when I know I did enough, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to allow my cream sauce to come to a boil before seasoning it up. Now that our cream sauce is boiling it, we're going to season it with some Obey Cajun seasoning and some chicken bouillon powder. I know y'all probably like, what the hell, chicken bouillon powder? But you'll be surprised. Anytime you're making anything with like a cream sauce, whether it's Alfredo or rasta pasta, any type of cream sauce pasta, add in some chicken bouillon powder. You'll be surprised. Like it really just helps with the flavor without you having to add salt. Add the chicken bouillon powder. It just helps with a different type of flavor profile. And no, it's not going to make the cream sauce taste like chicken. It's not. It's just going to add a nice little flavor to it. And then the Cajun seasoning just helps with the color as well. Once you season up your cream sauce, you want to give it a nice stir, making sure that the seasonings are thoroughly mixed in. If you notice, the Cajun seasoning helped with the color of our cream sauce. It's no longer a bright white. It's closer to a Cajun color now, which is exactly how I wanted it to be. So perfect. Now going back to our mashed potatoes. They should have fully boiled down. Let's go ahead and check on that. All right, perfect. So our mashed potatoes, our chicken broth has fully boiled down into our mashed potatoes. That chicken broth has made those potatoes so flavorful without me adding any type of seasoning. So like the potatoes taste good by itself right now. As you can see, I'm using my fork to just break up the potatoes, so it doesn't look so choppy, just kind of smooth out the potatoes. But if you notice, the potatoes do still look choppy, so I need to add a little something to it. That's where cream cheese comes in. I know y'all looking in like, cream cheese, what the fuck? But like cream cheese really helps out with smoothing out your potatoes. You guys are gonna see what I mean. So first I'm adding a little bit of salted butter or unsalted butter, whatever type of butter, margarine, whatever you want to add. And here comes the cream cheese. In this case, I use sour cream and onion cream cheese because I wanted my potatoes to kind of taste like a baked potato. But you can just add regular cream cheese. Okay, a nice dollop of cream cheese. Now watch as I stir in the cream cheese to my mashed potatoes. Look how smooth my mashed potatoes are becoming. It's going from that choppy look to a nice smooth texture. Like cream cheese is key. So don't judge it before you try it. You want to make sure that your cream cheese is getting fully mixed into your potatoes. So just take your time when mixing and just make sure you fully get it in there. So now our cream sauce is done. So I'm adding back in the shrimp. Again, if the shrimp didn't fully cook when I first started cooking them, it's definitely going to fully cook now. You can turn the cream sauce down to a low heat and just allow the shrimp to just simmer inside the sauce itself. I'm also going to pour the rest of the juices that was sitting with the shrimp inside the cream sauce, just for extra flavor, because why not? And it'll help with the color too. Look at that. See, I had the shrimp simmering inside the cream sauce for about 2 minutes and then I turned it off, topping it off with some nice freshly cut parsley. If y'all don't know me, I love parsley. I put parsley on anything. It just makes anything look so much better to me. And yeah, your cream sauce, your shrimp white wine cream sauce is done. Now we're going to get ahead and get to plating. As you can see, I have my Red Lobster biscuits right there on the side, freshly made. They taste amazing. Let me know if y'all want a video on how I do those. So now I'm just putting a little bit of mashed potatoes at the center of the plate. Give it a nice, it's all about positioning when you're plating your food. I added some more potatoes just to make it look prettier, to be honest. To make it look fuller, I should say. Add in some asparagus. Just going to neatly place those on top of the potatoes. And it's funny because I don't even eat asparagus, but it looked nice with the meal and I'm all about plating now. So I figured why not? And then I place my salmon right on top, just like that. It already looks good, just like that. And right here, this was my favorite part right here, y'all. So now I'm just placing the shrimp right on top of my salmon, just 3 or 4 pieces, I mean, you can have as much shrimp as you want, but specifically just for the plating and picturing, 4 pieces was good enough for me. Just like that. Looks so damn good. And it smelled even better. And here you go. Pour over the white wine cream sauce all over everything. The salmon, the potatoes. Everything tasted amazing. You hear me? If you listen, fellas, if your girl is mad at you and you make her this meal and she come home to this meal, trust me, gawk 3000. And there you have it, blackened salmon and shrimp and a white wine cream sauce over some homemade mashed potatoes. Of course, we had to do a taste test, and look at that there. Our salmon is nice and tender. Mashed potatoes is nice and creamy. Like, subscribe, and share for more videos.